Good to see that everyone is on the same page that I am and is trying to work with the application. Again, really the best way to be a master in the app development and especially in the Apple field is just to try it out. And in fact, you will find a lot of community people help out there on the Stack Overflow, the favorite website for all the coders. Now, since we have done a lot of research about building up the apps and giving the information from the background, this is the perfect time to talk about the tabbed application and also known as multiple segues. Now, a lot of people get scared with the segues, but don't be. Segues are really easy to work out with. They are just kind of everywhere in the application of an iPhone. Just simply go on to your settings inside the general, there is a segue, because you move from the general into some other screen in just a flash of moments. Applications like your mail application and segues are pretty much everywhere. So how we can design the segues and can have tabbed application and all of that, because the next app that we are building up is going to be a really serious app. It's going to be exact replica of the Notes app later on. So how we can do that, how we can switch from one screen to another screen and all of that. So what we can have is simply click on this create new application project and I'll select this tabbed application. We have done quite a lot of things with the single view application. Not quite. We have left quite a lot of things like login attempts or integrating maps or maybe audios and whatnot. We have left everything. But still, it's a good time to talk about the tabbed application because we want to cover all of them. So let's try to click on the next and we got success. So I like to call it as tabbed app and make sure everything is selected as the perfect, and I'll click on the next and I like to place it on the iOS 9 exercise file, the file that I'll give to you, not have uploaded yet, but definitely when the course is going to launch, you'll get it very soon in the course. So let's just say create. And what you can see right now, nothing much drastic different. The immediate difference that you will notice is the first view controller, second view controller. Okay, so we got two controller file, good so far, and the main storyboard. And you can see I don't have much room on my screen, so I'll try to get rid of all these guys. Still not having much room. And you might see that at this moment, a lot of people try to do something like this, squeezing and all of that, and it's not working. So it's not the thing how you do so. Just click on this blank screen and click on the 50% zoom. And there we go. All the things are just onto our screen. So we can see that at the first there is a tab controller, and this tab bar is actually available in the object section or object library on this right pane as well. And if I just filter it out to the tabbed pane, and you can see there is a tab bar controller. So that is the same bar. Of course, you don't need to start from this screen. You can start from the single view screen and can move on to this one as well. But it's a good idea to save a minute or a couple. And we can see that the tab bar controller is going out there. Now this tab bar controller is actually the place or the linkage place from where you can shift to the multiple screen. Now most of the time what people like to do is simply to have this view out there at the bottom or maybe at the top, and they try to switch between the multiple views out there, because otherwise if we'll directly jump onto the entirely new screen, there will be no point of getting back onto that screen. Again, depends on what you are building. It may be a choice, but most of the time we would like to keep an option to return on to the multiple segues or multiple screen. Now, there is a bit confusion about what you are talking about. Is there a multiple segue or multiple screen? Now, both are same. It's being a little bit of hinder in the terminology is what we like to call. Some people say that give me a new screen. Some people says give me a new segue. It just means the same. You want to have this. So what is this being called? This is the first icon onto your screen in the object library. If I get that, this is the view controller. Now, before adding a new controller and a new file for that, I would like to run this application, of course, on my iPhone 5, which is already running. Just try to give it on iPhone 6s maybe. Okay, that's a simple job for you. And just running this application on iPhone 5, which is already running somewhere on my desktop. Here it is. And we can see the first view is being loaded. If I click on that icon, there is a second view being loaded. So I can switch back and forth between them. Quite a good view. And let's try to stop it. Now, it is not going to be a perfect movie if I don't add up a new view out there and try to run that. So how I can do that? Now, first of all, there is a hindrance. Let me talk about that. Let's say I got a new view controller. Now you can drag and drop here, here. Anyways, you can place it anywhere. I would like to place it a little bit high. Now, the one problem with the 50% view is, let's say I want to have a button and I want to place this button. I will not be able to place this button. Now, this is a quite common problem. So what you can do, a simple solution or simple way to get around is get to zoom 100% and now scroll it a bit. Now you can actually drag and drop a button out here. Now you can optionally adjust it according to that, but there is again an option for that. And in the editor, you can hit a lot. There is a shortcut for that. And there is an editor. And first of all, I need to select that, not this guy. This guy, and inside the source control, where is that guy? Let me just find it for you. And I'm not able to find it right now. There is a shortcut for debugging and all of that. I'm not sure actually where it is. So let's just leave it. And what you can do, you can simply click here and you can say add missing constraints or reset to suggested constraints. Okay, I'm not much worried about that, but you can see if I run this application, I'm not done yet because there is no way to move on to this segue. Just there are first and second because they are linked up, and a good hint is this arrow line. So how I can do that? Now what you can do is click on this guy, press the control key and just select onto that. And there is the option where we can do so. But I'll show you another way also, which is wrong way. A lot of people just forget about that. Just press the control key, click from here to here, and that gives you a not good way. Now, obviously it's not allowing in this version of Xcode, but some people click on this view controller and then try to drag and drop. Now, again, this is not going to work. This is a bad idea. You don't want to have this. I don't want to have this. So I'll click control or press the control, and I would like to drag from top to bottom. And here I would like to select the view controller, the option that is under the relationship segue. If I click on that, and that's it, it is being done. So notice there are a lot of mess being going on. And if I hit Command Z, I'll show you that again. I'll press the control key and click on that and click on the view controller. Okay, so a lot of thing is going on. Let me just press Control S and run this. So you can see a lot of mess is going on because of the short screen. But what I can see is there is a second and there is an item which takes me to the button and I can click on that. Really not very impressive. So first thing you would like to do is change this item. Now you can see as there is so much mess around here, there is a good way in this version of Xcode is that you can click on this icon and then you can change out the badges for that. Like there is a custom and there is a history, there is a bookmark, and let me say that I want favorite, the star icon. Okay, good so far. Save that and run that. And there is my favorite icon. So again, I can switch back and I can move them from first to second, second to first. That's not a big deal that we don't want to have or want to have. The next thing that I would like to have is actually bring a code file for that. You can see I have got my first view controller for first, second, but there is no file for my third view controller. So I can click on the file and I want a new file. So here it is. And obviously you might have thought that I'm going to create a Swift file. No, that is not I'm going to create. I want a Cocoa touch file. And if I click on the next, I want it to be a subclass of not NS objects. It should be of UI view controller. And it asks me I don't want to save it right now. I want to say it as third view controller. So it will be a third view controller. And language type should be Swift, and I would say next, and where you want to save it. Yes, that's the right place to save it, inside my project. And you can see it has inherited and a few properties like view did load and view receive memory, and all of that are being out here. I can get rid of this comment. I don't need this guy, also this guy, otherwise it's going to get me an error. And you can have other methods and can print out something. or even you can link your buttons and all of that. Now here's a small exercise for you. Just link up that button, and whenever someone presses in button, just print a message that you are in the third view controller. But it is not going to work yet because we are not done yet. I'll click on the storyboard and I'll click on this guy, the view controller. And if I select my view controller, notice that there is a lot of first responder and all of these guys. So what you might want to do is select this guy out here, and in the third one, that is identity card, or known as identity specter, and I want to have my custom class linked with that. So I drop it down and I would look for the third inspector out there, the third view controller. I cannot find it right now. I'll write a couple of words for that, and it's not popping up yet. So I would like to, oops, I didn't select that for the custom class, and bring it down. And here is my third view controller. Now that is linked up. Okay, so it says third. I don't want this third out here. Okay, so now it's a good time. I'll save that and I'll hit the third view controller.swift. And in fact, just to have a little bit of fun, I'll just have a print and I'll say just the third and save that. Just after the view did load, I would like to run this. And as soon as I move on to my third module, that is this guy, and I should be having a print, and there it is, the third. So this says that yes, the file is linked properly and we are good so far. Okay, so not a very impressive movie. We haven't done much of the things, but still it's a good point to just get started with multiple segues.